Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 86 of the Retro Rents Retro Gaming Podcast. It's funny, I called it 87 when we started. Obviously, just a flub, a mistake. But, yeah, we've been away for a bit, mainly because we have been preparing a bunch of interviews. And we are kicking this special episode off with our interview with David Lee Homb, actor and writer. For you fans of classic games, especially Sierra games, David plays Don Gordon in Phantasmagoria, the antagonist, and the person we all wished we could save in the game. But we had so much fun with David. We really want to just take a second to say thank you. He hung out with us for a while last night, and I got to know him personally a little bit during the week. And he really was just a great person, and we can't wait to have him back, hang out, and see what he's up to. But we really hope you have as much fun listening to this as we did recording it, because we had a blast. Did you hear that, Jeremy? Thank you again, David. We really had a good time, and I can't wait for you all to hear the show. Until next time, everybody, take care. Have fun, play games, don't be dicks, and enjoy our interview with David Lee Homb.
It takes a day from Houston to get out of Texas. You can tell. It's great. Can I go back to the casino? Yeah, go ahead. And went back to finish my little trip.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's the Retro Rents Retro Gaming Podcast. This is episode 87, the special episode we've been hinting about for a while, and I am Al.
I'm Nick.
And we are joined by the amazing Don Gordon. I mean, David Homb. David, hi!
Hello, everybody. What's this, episode 86?
87, sir. 87.
87. All right. So,
as you
87
can tell,
me, though.
Yeah, well, as you can tell, we don't record every week because we've been doing this for 4 years.
I don't know. As technically challenged as I am half the time, I swear.
It's all good, man. I'll be honest. It's a real privilege to have you. I'm happy to break the fourth wall. We've been talking with David for a couple days and chatted with you on the phone. And I have to give the preamble of how this whole thing came about, because it's probably one of my favorite moments in this little 4-year podcasting hobby career that we have. So there I am. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. I'm reading some Kindle books, and I get a message on Facebook. And I've been following you for a while. Like, I've seen, like a happy birthday or whatever. I've been on your Facebook for a bit, but I got a message from you that said something along the lines of, all right, I'm checking out your podcast. It sounds pretty interesting. I just hope this isn't one of the ones I should have been on already. And I was like, all right, let's reach out to David.
I'm sure I put in there prior to that I listened to your podcast. Now, a lot of it goes over my head, but it's fun. I have a lot of laughs, too, and learn.
Appreciate that. No, we were telling you on the phone this week, like, Nick and I used to just sit and talk like this on our lunch break, and my own selfish reason for getting into this was, when I was a kid and I was playing these Sierra games, I'd see the credits and the names in the credits, and I didn't care who it was. Like, I wanted to talk to these people because, like, these were the games that helped, shape my imagination and creativity in childhood. And Phantasmagoria is definitely up there. I still remember buying that game at a flea market up here, and that's a fucking adventure in itself. We could talk about that one time. But I remember, like, it came in the box, like it was all, completely wrapped, brought it home, and this is 1990. It was pretty much the year it came out. It was just a little bit later than release. and brought it home, and it's like the box is like, we recommend playing this with the lights out and headphones on. Mind you, I don't know, I'm probably like 14 at the time. I was like, all right, shut everything out. Shut everything out. You know, it was already, getting to be nighttime, and that game scared the shit out of me. Because,
Nice.
But let's. So you're the antagonist in that game, and we'll definitely get there. But I'd love for you to take us through, like I always say, it's like the superhero origin story. You know, you're an actor, you're a writer, a great writer too. I've been enjoying your new book. We'll get to that too. But like, what shaped you on this path of your career? Like, what got you started?
What do you mean, in acting or in the games?
Well, acting in general. Let's start there.
It really boiled down to a 7th grade teacher who, I have ADHD. They didn't know what it was then. I was just the most hyper kid in the freaking school, and always. But I made straight A's, and but it was like I was never paying attention, and she saw that there was something else, and pulled me aside after class and said, I think you'd be really good, maybe acting one day, but, because all the kids love to hear you talk. And she said, and there's a competition in the city of Arlington, and it's, you write a speech, and you have to write it yourself, and then you give it 3 minutes, and I ended up winning the competition. And it was funny because mine was called Please Think, and it was, please think about the gas you're spending every day when you don't have to go somewhere. And it's like I know, and me now, or since then, I drive all over the place.
For 7th grade, like that's pretty intense.
Yeah, and I didn't even really pay attention to news or politics or anything at that time. So I was amazed. I wrote that, looking back many, many years later. But I ended up winning that, and realized, wow, that was fun. I like being in front of people, and there's a nice commanding, or there's presence.
Yeah.
And so I took drama the next year, and just never stopped.
That's awesome, man. Like, so, and we mentioned this too, like you kind of have like this dual career path, like, and just as someone else with ADHD, I totally can relate, to being completely bored in school, but getting by without, trying too hard. But I found a similar creative outlet in writing, and I was really like excited to realize that you were also a writer. And did those two moments combine? Was that when you realized you wanted to be a writer, or was that something earlier or later?
I didn't notice a combination. When the teacher was Miss Putnam, I don't know if she's even still alive, but I owe the world to that wonderful woman that encouraged me in the beginning. But no, the writing, and didn't really think about this until recently, when my parents said, you have been writing since you learned to write. And evidently I used to write pieces all the time and read them to mom, and I read a lot. One year, sixth or seventh grade, I won the year of competition. I read 364 books.
Wow.
One day shy, I guess, reading a book a year to mom every day, every single day. Island of the Blue Dolphins, yeah. And I mean, just one thing after another. But the writing, I've always done. It just is something that was an outlet, but I always wanted to put my thoughts down ever since I was obviously very young. And when I left for California in the summer of 1987, it was reminded to me in the driveway as I was driving away from my family to go on what they called a great adventure in my condominium on wheels, which is a van I rebuilt into a condominium. I said, they said, well, go off and be a movie star. And I said, I'm not going away to be a movie star. I have no desire or care. That's not at all. I'm going because from the time of Miss Putnam, I realized I could do the most affecting on people, probably do the most good through whatever this is that I was born with. And it didn't come from y'all because y'all have no talent. So whatever I was born with, I just knew that was my strongest suit. And Mom said, and do you remember what you said? Right before you left, you turned around and you said, and by the way, I will probably be much better known or known at all for my writing than my acting, although it's going to probably take many years before that comes to be.
Wow.
And I did not even remember saying that. And I started that day as I drove, it takes a day from Houston to get out of Texas. You can get to California in another day. I started writing then, and that'll be the next book. In the end of the book that just came out, I put 3 pieces in there. But that's it's not daily, but it's just whenever it came out, and that's the way I write. I can't sit there and go, okay, now let's write, and I'll think of nothing.
Yeah.
But when it comes out, I gotta write it by hand. I can't. I did the little dictaphones. Remember those?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I'll do that. I got like 54 of them full. I couldn't even transcribe it. I tried to get somebody to do it. A lady one time, and she went, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to get this transcribed. Plus, you got to be there. I can't always tell what you're exactly said or saying, and so I don't know what's on those 54 tapes. I would love to have those transcribed, and I'm sure some of it's brilliant. Some of it's got to be. But I wrote all the way through, and that'll be the next book. And that's my journey from 87 to 2006 in California. Very different feeling than the book you just read.
If you ever want to split that work up over a couple people, I'll be happy to help. It's a weird obsession. I like to try to translate speech to text, but we won't get into that. I'm just a weird guy.
Well, and I'd be happy to send you several of them, and then you just you may say, "Oh, yeah, that worked," or "Oh, hell no."
I'll send you what you say. You can do whatever you want with it. But no, that's awesome. Like, it's so amazing to me that you really had a very solid understanding of what you wanted to do with the gifts that you were born with so early on.
I had written, there was a Sam Shepard, his favorite actor of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he really got noticed in a one-act play competition nationwide. And I wrote a one-act play, about 2 years before I left for California, and I made the top 10. Other than that, I've never really let anybody read anything. I just wrote. I have so much. Yeah. And not that my handwriting's the neatest either, because sometimes I have to look at it and say, okay, use it in a sentence. What am I saying? Oh, yeah, okay, now I get it.
I had my wife ask me to type the good morning note. I left her just as a surprise one time. My handwriting's garbage. But, Nick, I'll hand this next one off to you. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. So obviously you're on your way to California. Do you kind of recall your first audition, or maybe even like your first successful audition? Like like either what was the part or what drew you into doing it? Was it just kind of whatever came your way, or was it like specific projects?
Well, the second, I guess, epiphany, because I we grew up on the stage. Pretty much that's the way it is, and we're in great. I mean, it's a wonderful way to talk about it. I did so many stage productions, musicals, whatever. But anyway, another epiphany, besides what happened in 7th grade, was I was 18, or maybe I was 19, and I was working as a bellhop, wearing the little cap. You look like a organ monkey, beside the guy at a fair. And but you deliver the luggage, and it was a nice place, nice hotel, and I saw in the newspaper, actually somebody told me, it said TV show Dallas. No, it said movie shooting in Dallas. Movie shooting in Dallas, and need extras. And I thought, well, that would be an opportune first time to get on set, because I was more interested always as an actor to know what the cameras were, know what the lenses were, know what the lighting and how they did it, and as much as I was ever into the acting. And so had a lunch hour. I took off. It was about a 15-minute drive. There was a line of people, 500, 400 people. I don't know. It was a huge line. I was like, oh my gosh. And this was a very strict hotel. You know, you can't be late. And I sign in, and I'm still wearing the little cap on my head, the whole outfit. And I'm in line, and I'm thinking, and it's moving so slow, and I'm thinking, oh man. And then these couple ladies come walking by, and they stop at me, and they just stare at me, and they kind of whisper to themselves and said, could you come with us? No, they asked me to take the little cap off. And I did. And they go, would you come with us, please? And it was at the Marriott. Went into a room at the Marriott Hotel and put me in a room, said, we'll be back shortly. They took off, and then I'm watching the clock. There's 5 minutes go by, and then there's 10 minutes. And I'm like, I have to leave in 20 minutes or I'm going to be fired. And they came back in, the ladies, with two other ladies, one with hair, one with makeup, and one had a costume. These overalls, flowery, or printed corduroy. And said, could you put this on, new little makeup? You don't mind staying, do you? We need to see if you're right for this. And up to that moment, I went, well, I'm fired. That's it. I am a bellhop no longer, no matter what turns out. I'm going to be fired whether I get this or not. And then put this outfit on. They put some makeup on me, and I sat there for another 15 or 20 minutes. And then this man walks in with a couple of other people, and he goes, hi, I'm Wes Craven. I'm directing this film.
Holy shit!
Well, I didn't know who Wes Craven was. I don't think hardly really anybody did. This is in the beginning for him as well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's looking at me, and he goes, yeah, I can see it. I can really see it. And I'm just thinking, see what? What the hell? Then he leaves. And then comes, a few minutes later, comes in Ernest Borgnine.
Oh, my God.
I know. And Lois Nettleton, who I knew both of them, and then Lisa Hartman, dressed the same as I am. And they took some Polaroids. I have a Polaroid somewhere. Her and I look like I would have been such a pretty girl. I had, long hair. I would have been a very pretty girl, because her and I, she was beautiful, and we looked just alike in this Polaroid, like twins. Wow. And then Wes and the casting director, everybody came in and said, okay, that's it. We would like to use you in this film for the next 6 weeks. And so congratulations. Would you like to be a part of the movie Deadly Blessing? And I went, yes. And casting director said, I've already talked to your agent. You're good to go. Contract is sent over. And I was like, whoo. So I walked back to the hotel. When I drove back to the hotel, I walked in, and the manager goes, you are so late. You are fired. And I just laid myself there and go, I don't even have a chance to quit. That's all right. I'm off on my career. That was a biggie, because Ernest Borgnine and Lois Nettleton really took me under their arms, and in the evening, when we'd be done shooting, they would come in and run scenes with me, just acting scenes, like a class. And I was telling them, I'm ready to go to LA. I'm writing. They said, no, you're not. No, you got to learn the camera.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
I know. It was a real moment, and so I spent the next, I don't know, 8 years on nothing but camera work. Well, theater too, but camera work, until I thought I will be able to compete. And then I told my agent, I'm going to move to, there was an audition in Dallas. And it had a lead role that I thought fit me. And she said, David, you're a theater actor. You're a local actor. these people are out of Los Angeles. You'll never star in movies. And I said, well, that shows how bad of an agent you are.
Yeah,
I'm leaving for California. And I had fun because I had a lot of fun, be it B movies, and some of them were pretty damn good. I'm sure my part in all of them was damn good, but I have seen them. And I had a big joy out of sending, I'd sign a poster because by the fourth one or so, you know, I was able to get my name on the poster or the photo, and I would sign it and send it to her office. Go, surprise, and then
that's
kind of really tacky.
That gave you such a
first,
drive.
Oh, sorry, what?
No, it's to me, like, I love that you took, you know, something like that for somebody that you know may not be ready to hear it, you know, from an agent. There are people in this world that's like, well, shit, maybe I don't have it, and you know, you were just like, no, I'm gonna go do it, and you sent the signed poster. Like, how many people in this life want to do, you know, something like that, to be able to say, yeah, I did it, and like, that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
And to be able to actually send a poster, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I've never ever taken no. I've never ever listened to no, and same thing with rules. I've always colored outside the lines, and thought, who made up these rules? Whoever it was wasn't in my position now, and screw it anyway. Time for some new rules. And
that's
kind of
awesome.
tacky. This was kind of tacky. So, you know, by the time I had my first, I don't know, 10 or 15 year high school reunion, and I think the 25th, you know, I was working every time for real, but I would sign posters and send them. I was voted most likely to succeed. Didn't say in what, but and I would send those. And so, you know, I look forward to going to the next family reunion, high school reunion, because I haven't seen these people, and I guess something's coming up because I'm starting to get a lot of invites from my high school friends, and I'm looking at the photos, and some of these are my best friends. I look at the photo, and I know the name, but I'm like, wow, if I bumped into them on the street, I wouldn't even know them. And everybody goes, you still look the same, dude. Like, yeah, not quite, but yeah, close.
No, I get that though, man. Like, that's I'm coming up on my 25th, and shit, and it's one of those, like, all right, so some of the hair from the back of my head migrated elsewhere, but like I've had people walking up to me like, oh my god, how are you? It's so good to see you, and it's like, I feel so bad and I can't remember the name, and it's not even being a dick. It's just like, after having kids, my brain is mush. But no, like, that must be a really cool thing. Like, you've you know, at this point you've established yourself. Like, you're on a poster. Like, I don't care what anybody says. When you get on, you know, a movie poster or whatever that is, like, that's a thing. Like, you are part of something that, you know, wherever that poster ends up, it will live and, you know, live on. And so you're establishing yourself, you're building a rhythm, and so let me just I need to check a date before I sound like an idiot. All right, so it's 1995, and that's the release date. So I'm imagining this started in 1994. You know, this is the birth of the CD-ROM drive, in that it was affordable to your average person. It was out a couple of years before, but they were insanely expensive. And it wasn't reasonable for even game companies to really start producing games on them until around 1994. And this company, you know, Sierra Entertainment, were easily the gold standard in computer games, adventure games especially. But they were one of those, you know, you walked into the computer game store, Electronics Boutique in my case, or, you know, what became GameStop. And you saw that logo on the box. Like, you didn't even have to look at the text on the back. It was like, oh, Sierra made it. I'm going to buy it. And Sierra really went hardcore into the potential of CD-ROMs with what were called full motion video games. And this gets into kind of like the next part where I'd love to hear your story. Phantasmagoria, which was definitely one of Sierra's biggest productions at the time. They wanted to make a realistic, graphic, scary horror game. And, David, you can go into the part you were chosen to play and all that. But I would love to hear, like, when did you hear about this company out of, from what I've heard from other people, like Nowhere, California, making this game, and how, what was that audition like from hearing about it to going and trying out?
Well, just, prior to that, in 93, I was excited. I signed with finally a big, Beverly Hills agent.
Woohoo!
And, but still, 70% of all the jobs I ever got, I was offered people getting a hold of me. And that's before social media. I can't even imagine what it would be like at this point. And I recently just mentioned this at a CGG interview because I just found this whole folder, and there was one, and it said my first CD-ROM job, 1993, Rand McNally Maps Company, and my agent. And there's a sticky note with my agent saying, "David, these people want you for this thing called a CD-ROM. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they want you for it." That's how little, I guess it was really in the mainstream of Hollywood agents and stuff at the moment. It's such a new media. And then when I got Phantaz, when they called me the first time, I had, status symbol. I had to carry that big phone like the soldiers carry with a 3-pound battery.
It's awesome. You had one of those.
Just to show off. You couldn't carry a signal for, we'd never be able to do this, of course, or you couldn't hold a phone call. Especially in LA, you drive between one canyon and the next, you're gone. But I had just walked into a casino in Laughlin, Nevada, carried the phone, down there because it's such a status symbol, and just started playing, and the phone rang, and it was the casting director. Said, "David, hey, some people, they really have a cool project and want to see you for a CD-ROM game." I went, what, a pixel character? I mean, nobody's even going to know who I am.
Right.
Not right now. And hung up. And then I got another call, and they convinced me to come. He directed his wife, actually, convinced me to come, and went back to LA and met with Roberta and Mark Hood and Peter. And I think that was about it. Victoria. And, it's a 30-minute thing, and said, "We definitely want you to be Roberta. I definitely want you to play Dawn. I can see it." Finally, I looked at other people. I just couldn't see it, and whatever. I don't know. And said, "Great. Can I go back to the casino?" Yeah, go ahead. And went back, finished my little trip. And then I showed up in the little prop plane flying into Oakhurst. Actually, it wasn't Oakhurst. It's I guess Fresno. Maybe it was Oakhurst. I mean, this was a little plane that, little 4-seater. And got off and handed me the script and the envelope of per diem cash. And, it was 400-something pages. And I thought, what the hell? And I remember saying, what is this about exactly? I really had no idea. It goes, it's like The Shining, but you're like really crazier. And it's going to be cool, man. It's like a movie and a computer. And I didn't own a computer. I didn't own a computer for a couple of years after I'd even finished the game. And it was the best job of my life.
Oh, that's awesome.
By far the funnest, and I had no idea that it would carry with so many. The fans have been just, it's just given me life and just wonderful. I don't even have the words to thank everybody, and Had no idea. Had no idea.
Well, it just shows what a badass you are. We all still love you to this day. You scared the shit out of me as an early teen.
And you were 14. God almighty, I've listened to a lot of people that were 12 and 14. And, I mean, where were your parents at?
Oh, my dad bought it for me. I was reading Salem's Lot when I was 8 years old. I had good parents in that regard. I'll always give them that credit. I took an interest in horror when I was very young, and my dad caught me watching like the original Salem's Lot miniseries when I was probably 6 or 7. It was on TV, and that was scary as shit. Like I remember watching it even later in life, going, I can't believe I watched that at 6 years old. And I would swipe my uncle's books when he came up. I'd swipe, I think the first one I stole from him was shit. I think it was Salem's Lot. I swiped the book because I saw the miniseries. And then my dad saw me reading it, and he's like, fine. For Christmas, he got me Tommy Knockers and Needful Things. And he goes, if you can read either one of these and not have nightmares for the next 2 days, I'll get you the next one. I was like, all right, Dad, game on. And that was it. I don't know. Some people
Yeah, you just reminded me. I had never thought of this in an interview or even till now. When I was 5, 6, 7, I listened. I had an AM radio, and then we had the little green screen TV that had 2 or 3 channels that at the end at midnight went, and TV was off. It was done. Worldwide, nationwide. Anyway, but I had an AM radio, and I listened to Dark Shadows.
Yes.
And the show E.G. Marshall. Yeah, this is E.G. Marshall, and tonight a mystery in the sand.
The classic radio
Hold
plays.
on. Yeah. And I listened to that, and I used to. I mean, I have memory that is incredible, and I would reenact them the next day or the next day. And I guess I never thought of acting then, but that was my, and those were scary, I mean, those were scary stories, never scared me, but I would reenact those for days. And I never really thought about that until a few minutes ago.
But that's awesome. Like, that's formative stuff, man. Like that, I remember that shit shaped my writing. I loved the idea that any kind of written word could leave me unsettled even at that age. I thought that was such a cool thing. And that's awesome.
And to be able to picture it, and then I actually did several radio broadcast productions that I don't even know if they do them anymore, but you got the Foley effect guys with the shoes.
They're coming back
with a bell. Ding, 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 ding. Somebody, and then the actors were all standing around Mike. Oh no, he shouldn't go there. Why? I did a few of those, and then it really dawned on me what I was listening to way back then, because then it was all real,
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that stuff's actually coming back in a weird way. The podcast medium has brought a lot of that back, and I love it. I used to love those. I used to listen to I still have some rerun on cassette tape somewhere in my parents' house when they did a rebroadcast of War of the Worlds, and I just remember it blowing my mind as a kid. Now this is years and years, but I love that.
The
stuff.
The Shadow
knows.
And E.G. Marshall, he was the main one. This is E.G. Marshall. It's almost like a Rod Sterling type thing.
Yes.
But on the radio, way back. Well,
he was
back. Too old. A few years back.
Just a couple. Oh. All right, Nick, this one's yours. I gotta hear this.
So you've now got the role of on Phantasmagoria, and so kind of take us back to what you can remember of kind of like the first days on set. Obviously, like you described, like you had kind of no idea what you're walking into in terms of it's being a CD-ROM game. It's obviously for the time, probably pretty forward thinking, I would think, in terms of like being acting in front of blue screens, green screens. Obviously, I think in today's world, it feels like old hat. You have like like Star Wars and whatnot, where like like that's just like that's something that's the audience is used to. But back then, I would imagine this is fairly new new concepts for you. Like kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I saw the Last Starfighter. That was about as much as I knew. And the games that I had played at that point were at friend's house, and it was almost like Atari, or Galaga.
Yeah.
Or there was no video, of course. My favorite one, and I don't remember what it was called, and it was a buddy of mine, and it's basically World War, and you nuke each other, and it's all about blowing each other up. And that was a lot of fun, but it wasn't anything like what Phantas turned, or most games are. But the first day I just spent with a script. They buzzed me by the studio. I remember them buzzing me about the studio, but I don't really remember anything, because the second day when I got there and saw there were no sets was my first question. Where's the set? Well, it's a big house. It's a big house, And then, a couple of weeks later, we saw the first renditions and mini trailer that realized, wow, big house.
So you were actually given like kind of like concept art, or concept of like what you were acting within, so to speak.
Roberta did. Roberta was wonderful. I mean, she had a vision, and she was probably the best, absolutely the best I ever worked for in detailing what she had written and the vision. There's only so much, I can, with a 10,000 screen, blue screen, do it, because and they had cameras, some twirling, some on a dolly, some on a big, track, and we'd do stuff, and they'd constantly be stopping us and saying, wait, okay, Victoria, move 2 inches left. David, your right arm, just about a half inch. There you go. Now you're in the room. And so it was great. It was very difficult doing that stuff, but I totally loved it. We had so much fun. I wish I knew now what I could have known then.
And so you kind of describing like you're kind of almost at their mercy in terms of it's like you're relying on them to put you in the scene, so to speak. Were there kind of any other kind of difficulties coming out of basically acting within a space of nothing other than the blue green screen to the one side and the camera to the other, obviously.
And that table with the TV on
it. Right. Yeah. This was all blue, and the first actual scenes that we shot were the snowman scene, at the table.
Oh, wow.
So my cigarettes were real. That was a real prop.
Wasn't
and the
all
snowman was real, but that was it.
Wow.
And Roberta and the director, Peter, were both great at really, really trying to give us a visual picture of where we were at and what we were doing. And the first scenes, I was loving it. It felt like a movie,
Yeah.
And that's what it was described. It's going to be like a movie, but you got to decide where to go. And so I love those. And then, of course, then it got crazier and crazier. And I couldn't envision what people were going to see. And so I just had full trust in Roberta, and it all worked out fine. It all worked out just great. And she would be excited sometimes, and if she wasn't happy with it, everybody knew, and we just made it right.
Oh, that's awesome.
She was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually skip ahead to that question then, because you talked about this even before we did this interview and we were setting it up. Like, what was it like working with You might have worked with Roberta more than Ken, but what was it like working with them? Like, it sounds like Roberta had a real commanding idea of what she wanted.
She was very strict in discipline, and her tenacity was beyond the charts. She had her vision, and she knew exactly what she wanted to see come off. I was in no place to question that, whereas on a movie, I would question directors now and then. There were very few things I ever pushed. One was the rape scene, which Roberta let us know that this was going to be a very big deal. It was going to cause some issues probably, and this and that. And rape is one of the things I hate the most in my life. I would castrate every son of a... Anyway, that never did it, but that's me. And so we didn't rehearse it. And then when we were doing it, we'd already done the scenes where you see some nudity.
Right.
And they were going to shoot it from behind and then slowly come up around quarter angle to the front so they could get my face expression.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if it's going to cause this much controversy, well, why don't I lose the boxing shorts? And show my, at that time, what was great little ass. Now you have to Photoshop it. And they said, no, that's probably
that was line far, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that was in my mind was, and I'd seen it in other films.
Yeah.
Where you don't see the guy pull down his pants or whatever and do a rape scene, to me, which was always weird.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to look like, if we're going to do it, I wanted to look like it was, really happening. But so that was one thing. And, we didn't do that, but there were very few things I ever, and also towards the end, I went, isn't there a version where Don lives? I mean, it's showbiz. Come on.
I wanted that version. Fucking love Don. I remember going to the hit line going, how do you save Don?
I've heard that more than anything else, I think. As crazy and as evil and, as bad as he got, I've heard more people say, I still wanted to save Don, which I think is a big compliment.
You knew, and I gotta say, that was such a compliment to you. Like, even that scene, which, anyone that's played the game will say it, especially for the time, but even today, it's an unsettling scene. Even if, we talk about just acting chops for a minute, like, your face almost is otherworldly. Like, you kind of go full demon in that scene, and it's chilling. And it's one of those, like, even after that, like, I still remember when, you're playing as Adrian and you're trying to escape, and you talked about the snowman, like, I spoiler alert, fuck, the game's almost older, it's not older than me, but god damn it. But, like, the snowman is a big connector, it's a very special thing between Don and Adrian, and you show it to Don, and it's like she's trying to bring him back. And I just remember, like, did I do it at the wrong time? Like, is there a way I could do this and not chop his face in half, please? Like,
or her.
And it was just one of those, like, you played this character, and I think, in a way, and I've said this to people that I know I've talked to that said, oh, it's like The Shining, but worse. And I would always counter, it's like The Shining, but better, because, like, if we're talking about the original one with Jack Nicholson, that character was never likable. Like, and I love the movie and I love the book and I love the miniseries after, but for that particular movie, Nicholson's character was just not likable. Like, he was just kind of evil from the start. Whereas, like, with Don, you get that beginning scene and you see, like, this is a really loving person and he's a good person that just got, stricken and faced with something that he could not defeat, and it really made you sympathetic to that. And I think if there's one thing that put this a step ahead of The Shining, and again, thanks to your own playing of the character, it was that even in the worst moment, before the demon just shreds your skin and now you're running from a giant monster, it's like you really cared about that character because you saw where you started from, and the way you played that decline was fucking awesome, man. Like, I've been wanting to say that all week, but like, I always, like, whenever I heard the Shining comparison, I was just like, no, like, Nicholson's character was never likable. You can't say that about Don Gordon. No way.
Well, that's a extremely, extremely nice compliment. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. But it's, oh my God. So we'll go from, the darker to the funny. Obviously, with the day-to-day of filming a 400-page script, and that seems like run-of-the-mill for Sierra. I heard John Rhys Davies called one of their games where he was the narrator, the script from hell, because it was tons of pages. But like, obviously, you get downtime or even in between scenes with bloopers and everything. Do you have any particularly fun or funny memories with the cast that you want to share?
Yeah, I do. And with my ADD, when I have a thought, I got to go with it, or it'll be next week before I bring it back up to you. In fact, I just forgot what it was. No,
you're in the driver's seat, man.
It was when Victoria and I got this. I remember we had to go meet with some union representatives or something, because we were, the first contracts for AFTRA, I think, ever. And
wow.
What was called the new media. I think she's contract 1, I'm contract 2.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's cool. I have it framed, doesn't mean a lot now, but about 100 years after I'm dead, it might mean something like, I think Rudo Valentino was contract 1 or one of the Barrymores.
Pioneer, man, SAG-AFTRA. That is a pioneer right there.
Well, they weren't together yet. It was SAG and AFTRA. I did something for Electronic Arts the year before that was SAG. This was AFTRA. And anyway, I remember saying in that meeting, okay, are there residuals? No, there still aren't residuals for actors. And look at the money this freaking thing made. I mean,
oh man,
that'd have been a life changer. Could have really gambled a lot then. I mean, not gambled, done other things. But okay, now back to your question. What was that again?
Oh shit! Now you're playing on my
funny moments. Funny
moments. Two peas in a pod right here.
Yeah, well, a lot of things. After a while, I really tore that pizza face up, and it would fall off in the middle of take sometimes, and we're working on that, and poor Victoria, her pants just every week looked like dog had shredded them almost. I mean, it was just one thing after another like that. But there were a lot of funny moments. I can't remember right now. I'll remember, an hour and a half after we're off the phone. I'll text you. But there were a lot of.
I swear.
There was a lot of laughter on the set. I mean, a lot of laughter. I am a very funny guy, much more funny than I am scary. I usually play comic role. Yeah, comic relief role in something, or the scary guy. I think I'm starting about 14 horror films, and then the others, I'm always comic relief, and I got a pilot that unfortunately didn't get to go. It was a big one. It was Rob Reiner, Castle Rock, Henry Winkler. It was Pistol Pete, and it was my first time to sign a full pilot with a role. I mean, year after year, But when I said, okay, it's good, and they offered me the part, and then I go, what exactly is my character? And they go, you're the comic relief. You're like Don Knotts. I love Don Knotts. I love him. But I didn't see myself as Don Knotts. I mean, we shot that. I don't know how much they spent. Millions, I'm sure. It had
Yeah.
35 RE35, camera, sometimes 4 camera shoot.
Holy
1,000 people on the set with, I mean, huge. And then Rob Reiner, I wish I had this footage. I was the day one of shooting was I was the first scene. It was just a couple lines, and I was really nervous. Didn't want to fuck up. And Rob Reiner said, "I'm going to do the clap on this." And he took the clapboard and walks out to me. I'm standing by the fence and thing. And he goes, "All right, David, you know what? This is going to be you're all in the family, like it did for me. This is going to be, I think, a very, very long-running series. And are you ready? Are you ready to do this?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He goes, "Just be yourself, have fun, let it go." All right, David Holmes, scene 1, take 1, start a Pistol Pete long-running series, and clapped it. And I said my 2 lines, and there were probably 700 people watching, and people were laughing. It didn't sound funny. It didn't sound funny to me, but my goofiness. And we shot the whole thing, and then I kept calling Castle Rock because my parents wanted to know when's it going to air. When's it going to air? Well, they don't tell you that. You look in the TV guide at that time. You could see, absolutely. Oh, here it comes. And then I got a call from Castle Rock. I think it was from Rob, but telling me, "David, the show's done." I go, "Well, what? It hadn't even aired." And
we
the
haven't
guy that played
started
Pistol
yet.
Pete, we'd already finished the pilot. And this was weeks later, and then the guy that played Pistol Pete got killed on a motorcycle accident. And that stopped it all. That was it, And I remember saying, "Well, wait, we can't show it and put another Pistol Pete in." But nope.
Is that the guy it was a short-running series, The Kindred? It was a vampire series.
Yeah, he was. I didn't know who he was, but evidently he was known enough to, be put into that position. So yeah, that was a real bummer. And I had several times that I got down to like 2. Like one was a show called Wings that ran for a number of years, and I got down to me and one other guy for the mechanic, and now
and Thomas Hayden. Yeah. You God damn it.
It was down to the 2 of us, and we were in the waiting room, and I was looking at him, and and I also was teaching a lot of acting by then. Yeah. And I was sizing it up, and I went, he's got that character look, he's just got the look. If I was directing, I'd cast him. Plus I thought I was way too good looking, probably upstage the lead, in the series. It ain't bragging if you can do it. But,
no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we went in and read, and before I left the room, I stopped and turned around, and I said, "I appreciate y'all bringing me in, keep me in line for whatever's down the road. If I were directing, I would go with him." And
dude,
then the casting.
That's awesome. No,
casting director came out, and she said, "Dave, I never saw an actor say that before, but you were so funny, talent-wise, no question. But yeah, character-wise, they are going to go with him. But wow, and she ended up casting in stuff later. So,
but that's such a credit to you, though. And I hope like anyone listening to this that wants, that might be an aspiring actor or whatever, like, not being an asshole can go a long way, and like just something like that is such a great tip of the hat to the kind of person you are, man. That's awesome. It's so funny. I haven't thought about that show in years. And God, how different would our world have been? I probably wouldn't even be talking to you right now. You'd have been in Sideways.
I think that was before Phantas, I think. So I might not even go.
Yeah, that was early 90s, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Right. You look back in life, and there were things like that. A number of things. Just so pissed off. Little son of a bitch. But if you look back in retrospect, And in hindsight, what turned out to be the best, or
Absolutely.
who knows? I mean, that could have been the best. Who knows? But what you just have to do the best you can do. It doesn't matter in acting. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you gentlemen do, you just do the best. Treat everybody like you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And nobody is above anybody else. Some people get a little bit luckier than others at time to time, and just have the tenacity. Keep going. Just believe in yourself and do it. And that leads me. I want to say this real fast, guys.
Do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I just want to. I want to get emotional. I just want to say all the best to. I have so many friends in Russia, and they're against this freaking shit. And I have so many friends in Ukraine, and just want to let them all know we're all behind them. We're all beside them, and just wish the best. It's all a fucked up, horrible situation from here on. But
no, with
anyway,
you, and absolutely,
that's the most politics I've ever talked on social media ever, and because I don't do politics or religion on social media, but this is just tears me apart.
No, I hear you, and we always generally try to avoid it, but it's just this changes a world in a way, and
yes, indeed.
Our hearts are. And even donations I can make and stuff that I've done, like we're behind them 100%, and I appreciate you just being so open as far as that. But no, we're right there with you.
Not to take away from the fun we're having, and it's awesome that we're here and having this fun, opposed to what position we could be in. And I appreciate you letting me interject that.
Yeah, no, it's it's a good reminder, as we're having time here, and the world is what it is now, and just obviously things like this help liven it up a little bit, but our hearts and thoughts are with everybody over there right now. We'll hope
I think of the levity, talking about getting an acting role, and it just seems so superficial compared to what others are dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking on the phone earlier this week, and it's talking about stuff like this makes me miss my younger days, where this this was, I don't know. I feel you, man. I feel you, and I don't know, like, and I'm not, obviously I'm not trying to like to stop on that, but I really do appreciate that, and obviously our hearts are in the same place. But the things you do, as far as an actor, and the things that you've done, can affect a lot of people in a way that you may never have realized or anticipated. And you talk about the things that might have been and all that, but the thing that this thing that you had that was Phantasmagoria has resonated with people for almost shit, my math is failing me. Almost 30 years now? Fuck, really? Yeah, almost 30 years. And it's something that people continue to go back to as, something that brings them joy or memories of a better time. And, what does that mean to you today, that like this is still something almost 30 years on, that people still, there are people that can't get enough of it and that love it. I mean, myself included. I love this game. I played it for charity like 2 years ago to try to go through the whole thing. And like, what does that mean to you that had a part in it, that it still means so much to some people today?
It means the world. It means the world. I'm telling you, that's why I went ahead and wrote the book. And it really, I didn't know how general public There was a nurse that bought it recently that had been taking care of Mom, and she left a message. She goes, "Thank God I had my husband with me, because damn, that would have given me nightmares." I thought it was love poetry, and I was like, but I loved it. I was addicted to it, but damn, I never read poetry like that, David. And I said, "Did you read the disclaimer of why I wrote it?" Yes. No, that's what made it make sense. And I thought, well,
yeah,
general public buying it. Awake I dream. Oh, how beautiful. Sunsets on the beach with smelling tulips and whatever.
Yeah.
And then get into it, and they're like, "Holy jeez." So, but I wrote it for the fans. I mean, it was, I wanted to say thank you somehow. And so many people, play it yearly. I mean, they know it better than I do. And, as you've seen, reading the book, the people that really know it, I'm getting great comments. I'm getting the most awesome comments and responses. So, that worked. That's what I wanted to happen.
That's awesome. And just to clarify, we're talking about David's book, Awake I Dream. And it was inspired by, his role in Phantasmagoria. And it's a phenomenal book of poetry that he released back in, I want to say, October of 2021.
It came out in October 31st, but that's the night I was supposed to do play the game. I've never played the game live with the people who published before, and I was going to play it live for the first time for the Children's Miracle Network, a charity I heavily sponsor.
Yep.
And found my mom on the floor, and we ended up going to the hospital that night. And Robert Holmes jumped in and covered me on the interview, thank God. But
Bob, we just had fun.
So it hasn't been till mid-January that I've actually started being able to do any of these podcasts, and I had relatives, first cousins, that I would send a message, and they go, "Oh, I didn't know your book was out." Cry.
Oh man, no,
I guess I was naive and thinking everybody would know as soon as it came out, but evidently not.
Well, I gotta say, again, to your credit, it's the second time you've left me unsettled in the best of ways as a horror fan. We talked about this prior. I loved it that the one work you have in there, Nervous. I swear to God, that's something that's a feeling that goes through my head at night, and it's why I cannot sleep in silence, because my own mind will run away with the.
Do you have it? Do you have it in front of you? I'd love to hear you read
it. Give me 2 seconds, actually. I can pull this up here because I was reading it last night, so it should be on that page. I'll be 2 seconds. There it is. Awake I Dream. Nervous. When the lights are dimmed and the smiles are washed away, only then do we see the ugly, bare truth that in the opening act was so beautiful. Where can you find that which has not been covered by promise? Where time is still private and the soul is relaxed in friendly repair, you choose to run in adventurous company, all with a willingness to share in what is rarely felt or seen. This is a narrow path, lined with much confusion. All we really wish for is to hunt while we sleep, and then to awaken with compassion and clear eyes. I swear to God, man, that'll probably be my goddamn epitaph.
Wow, it gives me goosebumps hearing you read it. That's wild. I actually just got goosebumps. That's weird.
Oh man, I'm I'm humbled, but it really, I don't know, people can sit there and say, oh, this piece of writing really resonated, but like that, I don't know if there was something that summarized my brain in silent times. It was that poem, and it was just. I just about finished last night, but that's still the one I come back to as I'm shutting the book, shutting my Kindle down. I go back and read it again because it was just that just resonates with the kind of person that I am, and I don't know, the way my mind works. It's great. Highly recommend this book to anybody listening. Awake I Dream, and we're gonna talk more about that But it's fantastic. It's kind of, in a sense, your love letter to the fans, inspired by the book, and it's just, or inspired by the game. It's just so good. The writing's great. The illustrations, we'll talk about those
Are
too.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Awesome. But one of the things we like to do on here for our listeners, and a lot of people are creative people starting out, and whatever that creative profession might be, and I like to dive into how people create. And you kind of went into it a little bit, in that you handwrite and stuff, but can you describe your writing process a little bit more when it came to this book, as you wrote it? Like, what, maybe a day in writing Awake I Dream.
About I'd say 2/3 of it I had written during the Phantasmagoria production, and it started probably night 3. It was after we'd get off set, and I was trying to feel this character Don, and reread the script again, and saw where the direction he was going, and I think it was just wanting to put out the real underlying feelings, what may not be portrayed on the screen, of other thoughts of who he really was along the way, and instead of just from good to crazy, that there was a transition even in his mind, subconsciously, as to what was happening to him and where his mind was going. That's what I had perceived of it. The last bit I wrote in the last probably 3 years, 2 years, when I decided to go ahead and get it done, and that was just prior to our virus year, and then we were shut down for a year, and I went, now's the time, get this freaking thing done. So, and I refer to time. I have been referring to time. The virus year, the shutdown year. And,
that year that lasted like 2 years.
Yeah, I've noticed lately, which is a little disgusting almost, but I'm saying since the start of the war, during the war, I've changed the time frame so people would get a time of things I'm doing now, which is a very surreal way to be speaking. So, but that was what it was. So, and Victoria had read some of them. I don't know if it was on, I think it was back in LA, and said, oh, these are cool. These are really cool. And at that time, I didn't own a computer. Last thing I was thinking was put a book out for the fans. I didn't even know we were going to be fans like this. I just shoved it all away, and then thank God it made it back to Texas with me, because I'm so proud of the book. I am really proud, and I am my toughest critic, big time. And I was very pleased.
It's a fantastic book, and then just for anybody listening, Victoria, we're referring to, you might fill in the last name because I'm forgetting at the top of my head, but she played Adrian, the main character in Phantasmagoria.
Yeah, Victoria, it was Marcel, but she's married, and I apologize that I don't remember her last name now, but I watched her interview recently, and she looked so good. She looked so happy, and it was wonderful to watch her relive memories, and I mean, it was great. It was very nice, because I've been doing some of these for a little while now, and it was great to see her perspective and relive it too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely another person I'd love to talk to, just to hear your perspectives. But back on your book, one thing I really want to get out there: who did these amazing illustrations? Like, even in the Kindle version, you get the illustrations, and they're absolutely beautiful. But I imagine in color, they're probably even better. They're fantastic.
Well, yeah, they're black and white, because that is the way I
Okay.
had to publish on.
Okay.
And I knew this ahead of time that they would be black and white, so I told him black and white. And then the book was going to be called My Night of Darkness or something. And I was up at my sister's for 1 month to get it all done. My wonderful sister was the editor and helped me to get it published, or I probably wouldn't have it done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I had talked to Rodrigo Valero in Brazil, a great, brilliant artist, a friend for a very long time, who offered to do this. And, it was just going to be poems on paper, black and white, and just gave it a whole nother life. But I said I can use one color photo for the cover. And he just had won some awards for the butterfly photo and sent that to me. And that right then I changed it to Awake I Dream, one of my favorite poems from it. It fit with the butterflies. At that time, it's prior to the war, and I was thinking Awake I Dream. That's a good message, even though the poems are different. But the Awake I Dream is what I was feeling. This world is in a state of being awake, but walking around like a zombie, just dreaming of something else, something better, something different, something, move us forward. And that's where Awake I Dream, and that's why I wrote that poem too. That was my thoughts. That really wasn't from the game. That was written way later.
Mm-hmm.
And my thoughts of the world and where it's at. And then the poem, the butterfly photo, just did beautifully. And we're in the process now of having a hoodie and a couple T-shirts, nice low not low, take that back, a V-neck for ladies, and T-shirt for the men, but very high quality, and a hoodie that real classy with Awake I Dream on it. And since the war, I called them and I said I want to change it, Awake I Dream on the front, but on the back. And so we're still talking about it, but I said I want the Ukrainian flag and say, and our dream does not ever end.
Oh man! When that's available, please let me know, because I will absolutely buy that and wear it everywhere.
I think
awesome.
We're very close to that, and my mother, because the book came out in end of October.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were 7 weeks in the hospital. So it was really mid-January before I could even start talking to anybody and letting people know it was out that, I wasn't even aware of. And so it was not right at the end of February. And I was taking this huge stack because there's a lot of charities that I support, 5 or 6 of them. And I donate a lot. Sign books, to help raise money for the charity and some fantastic stuff. And then I was heading out the door and she goes, "Wow, are you, how much mail is that going to be?" I go, "This is going to be over $200. She goes, "You're a terrible businessman. You've given away more books than you have sold and paying for the postage." And I said, I'm a terrible businessman, but this is me. It's me. This is what makes me happy, and to me makes a difference. And if nobody else is going to buy it, then God damn it, I'm going to send it to all of them.
It's just such a testament to the person you are, man. That's awesome.
There was another part to that, but I already forgot because I started laughing.
It's all good.
Whatever you asked me originally, that was the original thought, but.
Rodrigo Valero, we were talking about the illustrations, yes.
Right, and so the shirts and the hoodie and all that. So I was talking, doing a Zoom call with the people that I'm trying to line up to maybe make this. I don't know, I may look around a little more. And I said, and then I want, half, whatever the proceeds are, to go to Ukraine. We'll pick children's fund, whatever. They're going to need all the help they can get. Who knows what's going to end up, whatever it is. And Mom said, "You haven't even made those yet. You've given away half of what you." Yeah, well,
awesome.
It's okay. It's okay.
There need to be more people like you in this world, my friend.
I appreciate that, but they're in the works. That's one of my next. Actually, one of my 2 top priorities. So that's in the works.
So, where can people go to get to purchase your book? Just for those who don't know.
Well, you can go to Amazon and purchase it there. And I have a Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook and you shop in Messenger, it's the same thing as Facebook Pay. You can send me a private message. I've had a number of people do that, and you can pay right there through Facebook Pay. And it's $25, but I'll pay the postage in America, which is like $5, but I'll just take it out of it. I'll pay overseas. Just need to know where you're at. Now I have a list of countries of what it costs, so I'm even splitting that with people. I know I'm terrible businessman, terrible. It's more important for me to have people have it and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get that.
I didn't write the book to get rich. I've never done anything to get rich. My new project now, damn it, that's different. That's my retirement. Something's got to be my retirement. And we'll see how that goes coming up.
So,
but you can do that. And then I have PayPal set up tomorrow. So then people can send me an email if you want to give them my email out. You send me an email if you want a signed copy. I mean, I have like 30 waiting till I get PayPal set up. And then I didn't realize on Sunday I couldn't reach them to do that final step. So tomorrow I should have PayPal set up.
Let me know, and then just let me know the email it's connected to, and we'll be happy to put that in the show notes.
That's my Gmail, David Lee Homb, #1 at Gmail, and just send me a message. Hey, I want a copy of the book and signed copy of the book, and this is my address, and then I'll get back with them. I'll have PayPal set up, hopefully tomorrow.
I'll put that out there cautiously. I just don't want you to get any spam. No, but so let's get into what you hinted at there. At least what you can share. One of the things I really wanted to do with you is anything that you're working on that you can share right now. For all the fans of your work and the people listening, like, what are you working on right now that you got cooking in the background that you might be able to share with us?
Let's see. Well, there's a couple of movie projects. One I think we'll be shooting in Galveston, Texas, and bring it all home, and then one out in California, and then I imagine that would be around the summertime, and then my #1, my project, because when I wrote the book, I was like, this is nice. Thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle of an interview at 3:30 in the morning because, half my interviews are in the middle of the night because that's the other side of the world is awake. And I came up with it's one of those just moments. I've had them twice before. I started the companies. Of course, I didn't think about owning them, and those are $1 million companies now. And this time I thought, I'm gonna make sure that I'm on top of this one. And I mean, time is flying by. I'm a little older than I used to be. So, but it's the best thing I can do. I mean, it's going to be phenomenal, provided that we have a world left for me to do it in.
Yeah.
It's going to be phenomenal. Because it involves me traveling all over the world.
Oh, man.
And it's going to be, I had someone, I'm not even going to mention the name, but everybody knows who they are, and there's as big in the game industry as they could possibly be, and said, one of the people I confided in to really make sure I was on track.
Yeah.
And they got back to me and said, we think of you as royalty, David, in the gaming world, and that's always made me chuckle. But you're going to become the ambassador to everybody in the gaming world. The ambassador. And the more I thought about it, and I thought, look, wow, I didn't even think about that. That's not even why I'm doing this, but it's going to really unite the gaming world in a way that
it's awesome.
Never has been. And it's going to help a lot of people. And the help is that's the big thing. That's the reason I started it. I realized this could be the biggest give back, thank you, not to to the whole game world, which is huge. It's not just FMB and point. I mean, it's huge.
Oh yeah.
And anyway, so that it's coming up. It's coming up. Definitely coming up.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about it, man. Because honestly, we've kind of brushed on it, but you really were a part of gaming history. I mean, Phantasmagoria, in my opinion, is probably there's that and one more game in Sierra, which was the second Gabriel Knight game. But that was where those two were the first time where Hollywood movie style movies and story and plot actually met computer gaming and did really, really well. You're part of a very early part of gaming history where, stuff like that started becoming more mainstream to more people. And that's incredible. It may not, seem as much at the time, but when they start talking about the history of games and video games, and they get into the CD-ROM era, that's going to be one that's in the list every time because of how ahead of its time it was and how much it gelled with what people saw as a Hollywood production meeting a computer game. And but I mean, that aside, as you kick this project off, obviously we'd love to have you back and help you promote that. And God damn it, if you ever come out to the Northeast US, you got to let me know, especially if you're in a drivable distance to Philadelphia. I will be there. And I would love to, meet you, hang out, shake your hand, just say thank you for, it's been a really awesome week just hanging out and getting to know you and getting to know your work more on a personal level and you as a person. But one of the things too was as I developed this, I went, you know what? I have thousands of people. I don't even like to say fans anymore. I call everybody friends because they've been friends for so long, but I haven't met anybody hardly. And this is going to let me meet so many that I've been talking to over the years. People get such a kick if I wish them a happy birthday. I'm like, well, damn, we got to meet. Dude, you wished me a happy birthday this year. I'll never forget. My birthday is New Year's Eve, and I got a happy birthday from David Homb. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. It's just little things
hell,
like that.
I thought I was ordering a pizza. That was you? Okay.
No, it's just stuff like that means a lot to even, to people like me and people that grew up with this work, man. You really, for me, you were the Jack Nicholson of my computer days, but you were better. You were better. At least as far as The Shining's concerned.
Well, I want to thank you guys for letting me be a part of your group and letting me
please
hosting me on your show. It means the world.
It really does. It's been a pleasure having you, and we look forward to having you back on. Like I said, when you start kicking this off, and we'll figure something out. Either before you tour or as you're touring, we'll figure something. You can call us from wherever you're at, like you're doing now, and we'd love to promote anything you ever work on that you want to share with everybody, we're right here for you, man. This has been an absolute pleasure, and hope to have you on again.
I'm
more than I hope to meet you.
I'm making my notes now, Nick. I haven't figured it out with you yet, but Alan, I know with you, I got to make sure, Alan, your kids are in bed before I call. But I will.
Hey, you got the open line, man. If you ever need a chat or you got an idea, I'm here for you, brother.
Awesome.
No, thank you so much, David, and I really appreciate. Yeah, total blast. I always joke, we go for an hour, but I said to Nick when I talked to you earlier this week, I'm like, don't make any plans. Sunday.
Clear the calendar.
Clear the calendar. We're gonna have some fun.
I do. I want to put one thing out too, because I have my costume and I have my script. Now, I didn't realize only like 5 people got a script. Nobody has a freaking script. Roberta's is in a museum.
Oh my God! You have a script?
Yeah, and it's got her notes in red all the way through, and Peter's the director in black and mine in blue, and things like that. I know that doesn't exist out there anywhere. It'd probably be very interesting for people to see the full original script with.
Wow.
Especially with Roberta's notes to me as we went through it. But I had that, and I was just fortunate. I put in the contract to keep my costume. Everything else was sold. Yeah. Auctioned off.
That's awesome, because that stuff's gone ever since Sierra got bought. Like, they don't have much of anything from that left over.
No. We were talking to Roberta and Ken, a museum guy in Hamburg, and he said, I can't find anything. And if I do, it's super expensive. And had requests for some of this stuff. But I've kept the costume, kept the script, and I may need to end up selling it. I'm not going to just let it go. I want it to go to somebody who's a serious person who won't put it in a garage sale the year after. I think it's a big part of gaming history. I may need to sell it in order to finish the pilot for my project. I'm still on the fence about it, but I'll just throw it out there. If anybody's listening, that may be really, really interesting. Other than that, you're going to give away a signed copy of my book on your show, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the way we're going to do this is for anybody that, is listening to this episode now after we release it, what was the name of the early 90s show? Because everybody knows Phantasmagoria that's listening to this. So we're going to see how well they were paying attention. What was the name of the early 90s show that David went to an audition for and was such a gentleman and such a master of his craft that he realized that it should go to the other person that was auditioning with him, who wound up playing in the movie Sideways. And we'll leave it at that. You don't have to. You have to just say the show. You don't have to say the actor. If you listened and were following along, you'll find it. The first person that sends us on the Savepoint on the post where I announce this contest and gets the correct answer, not the first person, but the first person with the correct answer, will get a signed copy of David's book. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Hold on a second. Hey, Mom, go on Savepoint. Go on Savepoint right now. I'll tell you what to say.
Oh, David, my God, what a pleasure this has been. Thank you.
I've had a ball.
This has been fantastic.
Thank you so much, man. Like, we've had so much fun talking to you, and obviously, anytime, anything you got to promote, anything you're doing, you are more than welcome back. We'd love to have you, even just to shoot the shit and have beers on a miscellaneous Friday. You're welcome anytime. And I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure, Nick, Alan. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Don Gordon, thank you very much. Thank you, David Homb, actor, author. We really appreciate having you on. This has been episode 87 of the Retro Rents. And as we always say and sign off, have fun, play games, and don't be dicks.
Peace.
Wonderful. Wonderful.